All right, this is David Berg. I am a Sisel Live distributor and have a little bit to know about leadership. In fact, I'm a retired corporate executive in the technology area and have been involved with leadership, teaching leadership, developing leaders, etc., for a long time 30 years, 35 years. And the last 10 years, I've been teaching professionals to be better leaders. So I'm going to talk today about how to put leadership and Sizzle live together, and end up with something good. But why why leadership? And how does it fold into Sizzle Live? Well, you see the little picture here, the guy climbing the ladder. Think about you as a Sizzle Live distributor, either as a distributor and you want to move up to master distributor, or a one level or two level or three level master distributor. At some point, this ladder shows it perfectly, and is described by Marshall Goldsmith as what got you here won't get you there. And essentially what you need, besides the expertise in Sizzle and Sizzle Live, you need to apply some leadership, because leadership is what's keeping you on the lower levels. And maybe you're doing well at the level you are, but you want to move to another level. So it's really all about leadership. Okay, so we're going to talk about leadership as defined by the smart guys. And this is a book that was written about 5 or 6 years ago. It's called The Leadership Code, and it's the 5 rules that the best leaders live by and lead by. So we're going to integrate this a little bit into this presentation. And again, the objective of the presentation is to get you thinking about leadership and how it might improve your Sizzle Live distributorship. So let's go there. So Sizzle Live, here is Sizzle Live. This is a professional lady doing Sizzle Live. Okay, well, what do you need to do Sizzle Live, whether you're a man or a woman? You need skills. Yes, you need some skills, or you can't do it, right? I mean, if you had no skills, you wouldn't know what to do. And Maureen is teaching those skills. What are the skills you need to be successful in Sizzle Live? So now let's say on the leadership side, it's the same kind of thing. It's a different set of skills, but it is a set of skills that you need. And as a matter of fact, what the smart people have figured out is that when you become a very good leader, and we'll get into the definition of that in a moment, you can get up to 3 times the results of someone that doesn't apply leadership skills to their process. This doesn't matter what the process is. You could be a manager, you could be a director, you could be a distributor, you could be a master level one in Sizzle Live. Whatever the process is, they show that you can get up to 3 times the results if you develop your leadership skills and apply it to the profession you're in. And we're going to talk about the profession being Sizzle Live. Okay, so here's the good stuff, right? If you look at this, you see leadership competency is a relationship between how competent you are, i.e. how many skills you have, and the results that you can deliver. And you see it's kind of a bell-shaped curve, not really bell-shaped, but it's that sort of thing. That 20% of leaders, have very little competency, very low-end competency. 60%, between 20 and 80, have some decent competency, and they get 1 times the results that the ones in the 20% range have with no skills or very little skills or poor skills, whatever you say. Then in the top 20%, you get up to 2 times your effectiveness. So essentially, you can see if you have very little leadership skills and or you do not apply them, you're not very effective in whatever process you're doing. So this is going to give you exceptional results. So what do you need to work on? Well, you need to understand work on the skills of Sizzle Live, but you also need to work on the leadership skills to give your Sizzle Live business a real kick in the butt, a boost. Yes. Okay, this is the leadership code. There's a lot of things to it, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time just on a few things. I'm going to talk about 3 things here. First thing is, as a leader, you're a strategist. What does that mean? You'd make decisions about shaping the future. What are you going to do? Okay, the second thing you are as a leader, you're an executor. You make things happen. And then, third and fourth, I won't talk about those, but the fifth one, which is probably the most important, is personal proficiency. What is that? You invest in yourself, because if you don't make this investment in yourself, you won't develop your leadership, and therefore you won't get the effectiveness in your business. So let's show this again, leadership definition. Let's define it in simple terms. What I say leadership is getting a person to want to do what you want them to do. Two wants, not one. To get a person to want to do what you want them to do. And by the way, the first person that you need to work on is you. Right? It starts with you. There's some things that you want to get you to want to do. And so, you need to do that. Starts with you, and then you go on to others. So let's take a look at a few definitions then of leadership. Remember, the strategist. The strategist decides what to do. So you have to figure out what to do, right? And if you don't know what to do, someone's going to tell you. Someone's done it before. So if you don't know what to do in Sisel Live, go to one of the training sessions with Maureen. If you don't know what to do in leadership, I'm going to show you some things and how to get a little bit of what to do there. Now there comes the next one, that's to do. Then you're the doer, right? You then have to be the executor, the doer. So the doer part seems to be the hardest. Strategist, what you're going to do, usually you can figure that out. But then doing it is kind of the problem. So we want to focus on the doing part. And we need some help to do it. So what you need is a coach. So you need a coach, and the coach could help you to decide what to do. The coach could help you do what to do, and then the coach can help you. Now the coach could be a peer, it could be, one of your uplines, it could be yourself, all these. But in order to be a leader, you need to think about these three components, and you got to get them to do very well together. So let me give you a little bit of a leadership invitation. This is from Richard Berg. He's a successful 40-year MLL leader. So he has these seven steps. And think more than the steps. Think about the leadership part. First thing he says is you got to do is connect. Well, what skills do you need to have to connect? Well, you need a few skills, right? I mean, you know how to connect. You can see two people talking. But there is some skills associated with connecting. Not a lot. Most people can do this without a problem. The second kind of invitation skill you need to be curious. Being curious. And, what is the meaning of being curious? Well, you want to learn. And when you connect, you want to learn about that person. You're curious about the person, real curious about the person. And then second, the third thing you want to do is be candid. Okay, these are leadership kind of things. What you're doing now is you're focusing on the other person. The third thing, you want to be present. What does that mean? It's really more than just listening. It's really you're there. You're in the moment. You're most people, or a lot of people, anyways. When they're listening, they're thinking of other things. They're thinking of the response. They're thinking of whatever. They're thinking of what. So being present means you're not thinking about anything. You're focused on the person and what's being said and listening to the person, etc. Then you need to show some patience. What is that? You need to respect the person, and you need to be slow to invite. You need to think about the other person and how to help the other person, rather than how to help yourself, and going at it fast. The sixth thing is you need to figure out what questions to ask, because again, and you could have a bunch of scripted questions, but really you want to intuitively in the moment feel what questions to ask that would be most helpful to this person. And there's some books you can learn from that does this real well. And the last thing is you have to realize that most people say no, so be respectful, and let them go. Maybe the time isn't right. Maybe you can get some referrals from them, etc. But just be respectful. So this is, this would be, a high level of leadership in the invitation. So let's look at other ways you can learn leadership. Look at all these books. There's hundreds of books, right? Yeah, hundreds of books. Some that are directed directly towards network marketing. Um, some that are just general, leadership books. The two on the upper left, Leadership 2.0 and How to Make People Like You in 90 Seconds, and The Go-Giver, are all general leadership books. And then you have, books from three great women, Susie Nelson, Kim Claver, and Sonia Stringer. And then, of course, you have Big Al. I love Big Al. There's a few of Big Al's books. And then finally, down in the lower right corner, you have Natural Selling, that by Michael Oliver and for network marketing, and that'll help you with a process, a leadership process, to to ask kind of questions. So how do we then help ourselves? So let me tell you, Marshall Goldsmith, who I introduced in the first of the book, he's a successful 30-year executive coach, and he said he's developed 6 questions that are a daily test. So if you ask yourself these questions, or what he does is you pay someone to call him every day and ask him 6 plus a whole bunch of other questions. So when you're going to be tested at the end of the day, by yourself or somebody else, essentially yourself, then you think more about the things you want to do. So here's the 6 questions that he thinks are really important in your development, as a leader. The first question is, did I do my best today? They all start with that. Did I do my best today? Think about that. Did I do my best today? To be happy. Hey, the implication there is it's your responsibility to be happy. And did you do your best today to be happy? Did I do my best today to find meaning? Yes. Did I do my best today to be fully engaged? Think about asking yourself these questions and scoring them on a scale of 1 to 10, and then seeing where you are. Did I do my best today to build positive relationships? Yes. 5, did I do my best today to set clear goals for the day? And finally, did I do my best to make progress towards my goals of achievements? Yes. If you can do all those things, you decide what it is you need to do, especially on the leadership side, because remember, there's a multiplier. If you're not very good at leadership, if you get good at it, it's going to multiply your efforts on the Sisel Live side by up to 3 times. 3 times more effective in your building your business.